A fourth stimulus check update and what you might need to know about 2023 Social Security, SSI, SSDI, SSA, Social Security benefits, and all that type of good stuff. Well, here's what I want you to know. After 4 days of voting, McCarthy has been elected to the role of the House Speaker after 14 failed votes since Tuesday. The California Republican was able to overcome his opposition. In doing so, he made a series of concessions that weakened the power of his office. McCarthy's team presented them with a framework of House rules changes and the promises that would appease the group, and ultimately prompted a 6th House member to vote present on a crucial move that lowered the threshold for a majority and paved the way for him to succeed. The Republican rules package released these included concessions. It would allow any one member to vote a motion to vacate the Speaker's chair and overthrow McCarthy. It makes it harder for the House to raise spending, taxes, and the debt limit. McCarthy also laid out an ambitious plan to address Congress. He said he wants to be the check and provide some balance. He says he wants to send out more checks too to President Joe Biden's policies. He said the first bill he plans to tackle will be repealing funding for more than 87,000 new IRS agents. McCarthy also claimed he will pass bills fixing urgent problems in the nation with an America First approach. He added he will also plan to address long-term challenges like debt. And the Fed has been adjusting pretty much everything from tax brackets to monthly Social Security payments just to help offset the record high inflation that's been hurting America's wallets. And I know many of you guys are anxiously waiting for the Fed to issue another round of payments that would help offset inflation. Well, 3 stimulus payments were already distributed in 2020 and 2021 during this economic hardship caused by the crisis, and the resulting job loss and business closure has created many. Individual states issued checks in varying amounts in 2022 just to help with the rising cost of inflation in lieu of checks from the Fed. Lawmakers know that millions of checks and millions of Americans are looking forward to new payments or tax credits this year, and these could ease the burden of financial burdens. And now, depending on variables like where you live, what you earn, and what you pay in taxes, and whether you own a home, well, you can have a check coming your way in the coming week and month. On top of that, the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 will lower some costs and deliver some tax credits. Currently, Alaska's Permanent Dividend Fund pays more residents an annual check in a portion of state revenue from oil reserves. And while the fund isn't directly tied to inflation, well, the payments rose in 2022, right along with the price of Alaska's paid-in stores. Last year, payments jumped from $3,000 to $1,400, and the year before that, thanks to the increases in the price of oil. The final amount included a $650 energy relief payment. It's unclear if 2023 payment and permanent dividend fund will be padded with another inflation relief provision, but Alaska will pay unclaimed checks throughout 2022. Good to know that, because most eligible Californians received inflation relief worth up to $10,100 in 2022. The state will continue sending out the remaining middle-class tax refund payments through mid-January, so keep an eye out on this. Also, homeowners eligible for New Jersey's Anchor program can expect checks worth up to $1,500. The property tax rebate applies to residents who owned a home in 2020, but the benefits also extend to renters who are eligible to receive $450. The program will accept applications through January 31st, and payments will be issued in late spring. South Carolina are able to receive up to $800 in inflation relief checks. If the tax liability was less than $800, they'll receive that amount. And those who filed their 2021 returns by October receive payments on December 31st. If you miss the deadline, don't worry. Stimulus is on the way.
Well, thank you, Andy Marsh. Wow. What a great day. $125 million. 1,600 new good-paying green energy jobs here in the capital region. This is a red letter day. No, it's a green letter day for the capital region. And what's amazing about this is this cements, this great factory, cements the capital region as one of the nation's and even one of the world's centers for fuel cell manufacturing. And this is an industry with a great future. This isn't one of these industries that say, well, its best days are behind us, even when we try to work to keep them here. No. This is the future. And what it's going to mean for the capital region, among many other things, is a lot of 4-letter words. Jobs, 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 and more jobs. This is great. Now, there are a lot of people to thank here, At the top of the list, I want to thank Andy Marsh. He has been such a leader in this company. He has cared about this industry. He came to me in tears almost in 2017 and said, we're going to go under. This wonderful industry had about 200 employees back then.
200 employees, Senator.
But without the investment tax credit, it would have gone under. It was definitely needed. And together we fought and fought. Remember, it was a Trump presidency, a Republican House and Senate. But we fought and fought and fought, and we got it done. And his leadership has helped this company become the preeminent fuel cell manufacturer for forklifts and other.
We have a ton of good news for the fourth stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SSI, and SSDI. Continue watching this video to never miss out on the most important stimulus check information. Now let's get into news. Democratic Senator Sheldon Whitehouse has given nearly 300 speeches urging President Biden to act on climate change. He recently told reporters that he's unconvinced that Republicans are going to suddenly cut a bipartisan climate deal. A bipartisan group of lawmakers will gather this week to hash out whether a deal is possible to combat climate change and modernize U.S. energy policy. The meeting comes at a critical decision point for President Biden and his slim majorities in Congress. Most Democrats believe they have just a few weeks to finish the legislative agenda before midterm politics. Yet Joe Manchin started trying to recruit Republicans to work on energy. Timing is running short, tensions are high, and Republicans are clear about their goals. They want to break Democrats' resolve to pass another party line tax and spending bill. Democrats say there is no chance they will abandon the last-ditch efforts to pass a big, GOP-free bill lowering prescription prices. Manchin has shared that he has met privately with Chuck Schumer to talk about inflation. Schumer told reporters and Democrats afterward it was a positive meeting and remarked that because Republicans don't want to raise on the wealthy, the filibuster evading effort is the only way to get rid of inflation. Manchin told reporters, you've got to be serious about inflation and you've got to be serious about paying down the debt. And we'll be facing a huge mess on Social Security in 2026. Now, if you have an older tax return processed, you may be growing increasingly frustrated by the day. But here's the good news. The IRS announced that there is a process of hiring 10,000 new workers to get caught up on the backlog. People have been filing taxes on paper for years, may be used to that setup and resistant to change, but there are many drawbacks associated with filing a paper return. So, all it takes is staffing issues at the IRS to cause filers to have to wait a long time to get refunds that they're owed. So the agency, if it plans to fill 5,000 positions within the coming months and then onboard other 5,000 new hires, then it will definitely help out. Folks, it's great to see that President Biden is definitely helping out the American people with stimulus checks.
Today, what improvements you see to help simplify and enhance the effectiveness of the weatherization program?
Thank you for that. Thank you for your longtime support of weatherization. I agree with you about the utter importance. There's 39 million homes that are eligible for weatherization, and unfortunately, we can only do in a given year 35 to 40,000 of them. And so there's such a great need out there. That big slug from the bipartisan infrastructure law will enable us to do hundreds of thousands more. Here's the update, and it's reflected in the budget. One is that, as you know, many homes